Researching a Civil War veteran. Researching a Confederate Civil War veteran at the National Archives. Confederate records are the most fragmentary of Civil War records held at the National Archives, making research of Confederate soldiers and sailors more difficult to undertake. At the turn of the century, the War Department began to create compiled service records and a record of event series for Confederate units as well. Like the compiled service record series covering the service of Union Civil War veterans, the Confederate service records and unit record of events were extracted from the muster rolls and other Confederate unit reports which survived the war. Unfortunately, many Confederate records were destroyed or lost at the end of the Civil War. The National Archives does maintain compiled service records for some Confederate soldiers. Compiled service records for Confederate Civil War veterans detail things such as enlistment, rank, unit, hospitalization, wounds received in action, and so forth. In some cases, it may be possible to find information on a Confederate soldier from a Union record source. For example, you might find documentation on a Confederate prisoner of war which was extracted from Union prison records. Confederate sailors and Marines can be researched using the available Confederate muster rolls. Unit records also exist for some Confederate units. Like the Union record of events, these were extracted from the Confederate muster rolls and returns which survived the war. When available, the record of events can show us movement, station, and activity of the unit. The level of detail will vary from unit to unit, with some units providing a meticulous account of unit operations, while others simply provide a general location and date where the unit was headquartered. After their defeat in the Civil War, the Confederate soldiers who fought for the South were still considered rebels, and thus were ineligible for any kind of military-related benefits from the federal government. Some states did grant pension payments to Confederate veterans who had fought for the South. Since the National Archives is a federal archive, it does not maintain the state-sponsored pensions from the Civil War period. Pension files for Confederate veterans must be accessed from the various state repositories and archives where they are maintained.